Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you and 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 especially to you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Monday Morning Affirmations. I am your host, Stephen Dillard Carroll, and this is your weekly affirmation for the week of September 21st, 2020. Before we officially get started today, a little bit of business. I keep on forgetting, I keep on forgetting to tell you people to tell you people, excuse you, how dare you? I keep on forgetting to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. I also keep forgetting to tell you guys that if you want your own very special copy of these tarot decks. Links are down below, wherein you can click on them and get your own very special copy of these decks that I've been using for the past umpteen weeks. This is the Rider-Waite deck. We'll be using that today. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's the traditional classic, if you will. And we'll be using that today. So, I think what I'm going to end up doing is, much like at the beginning of this video, going forward at the beginning of every one of my videos to say, hey everybody, please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you want your own deck, please click the links below and check out the decks that are on the specific videos. And I think also I'll have my top 10 favorite decks down below as well, going forward, so that you will know it's not just about this particular deck that I have in my hand, it's also about my favorite decks and the decks that I connect with the most and that bring me the most information, if you will. So going forward, that is what's going to happen. But here we are today, Monday the 21st, and some of you might be asking, if this is your first time here, what exactly do we do on Monday morning affirmations? Well, the first thing we do is we pick a tarot card, and based upon that particular card, I may have a story or a personal anecdote, if you will, to share with you guys. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's gut-wrenching, sometimes it's just utterly ridiculous, because that's who I am. I am all of that and then more. And then at the very end, we tie it together with an affirmation that that will hopefully give you encouragement, that will hopefully give you inspiration, insight, and hopefully a little bit of hope that will carry you through the week. So that is what this channel is about, and so let's just jump right on into it, shall we? Today, again, we will be using the Rider-Waite deck. There you are. And we will be jumping in with that today. So let's do it, shall we? Today's affirmation is brought to us by the Ten of Wands, and it's in the reverse position. As I've said many times before on this channel, whenever cards are in the reverse position, it can mean slow, stop, or delay, but it also can mean coming out of something, ending something and beginning something anew. And I'm feeling like that is what this card is about today. The Ten of Wands, when it's in the upright position, generally means carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It can mean carrying too much taking on too much burden, taking on too much responsibility, taking on responsibility that perhaps is not even your own responsibility to take. Doing it all by yourself, being stubborn and not asking for other people's help. But it's in the reverse position today, which tells me that perhaps you're tired of taking on that huge responsibility all on your own. I can remember when I was a kid. I think I've said before on this channel when I grew up with two brothers, one older, one younger. They were both two peas in a pod. I was the odd one out because I was the good child. That comes with a lot of responsibility. That comes with a lot of burden, a lot of bricks on your back that no kid should have to deal with. I was my mother's therapist for many, many, many years. Trying to figure out a way to say this that's respectful to my mother, but yet tells you guys the truth. My mother would basically assign me the task of being an adult, even though I was a kid, because many times my mother didn't have anyone to talk to. She didn't have anyone that she trusted. She had one best friend, but as it goes with a lot of people, sometimes that best friend was not available. Well, she had a ready-made therapist in the home that would sit down and listen to her as she cried about this, that, or the other things. Legitimate problems, serious problems that no kid should have to deal with at the age of 10, at the age of 8, at the age of 12. Being thrust into adult situations as a kid changed me. Some for the better, in as much as I turned out to be a really good listener. I feel like I was trained from the cradle to be a really good listener, to allow people the opportunity to get things off their chest. I'm the kind of person that strangers will come up to and tell their life story to. Just because I happen to have that kind of face, that kind of aura, that kind of energy, I don't know. But I found myself, and I still do, find myself being in the position of counselor to lots and lots of different people, even within my own private practice of doing psychic work. I always tell people 70% of what or 30% of what I do is actual reading of cards, and the other 70% is spent in counseling. Okay, this is what the cards say. What are we going to do with that information? How are we going to take that information and allow you to live the best life possible? And so it has played well into my choice of profession, being a really, really good listener. But at the same time, it was painful as a child. And I'll never forget the day that I finally stood up to my mother and I said, I can't take on your problems anymore. I can't. I'm a child myself. I can't deal with these particular problems. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes and she said, if I can't talk to you, who am I going to talk to? And I remember that taking all of the wind out of my sails. And I knew that I would never escape that role of counselor. And so I ended up taking on a lot of her emotional responsibility. I felt like it was my duty to take care of her. As a child, it was my duty to take care of her. And even, my mother recently passed away. She passed away on Thanksgiving Day of last year. And even up until the point that she died, I was still her counselor. I was still her sounding board for everything that was wrong in her life. And to a certain extent, I'm glad that I was able to fill that role for her. But at the same time, I feel like I missed out on being a kid a little bit because of that, because of taking on that burden that was not meant for a child to take on. And so here we are with the 10 of Wands. It's in the reverse position, which tells me that there might be someone out there that is tired of taking on responsibility that is not their own. There might be someone out there that is tired of taking on other people's monkeys and other people's circuses. There might be someone out there that simply wants to unload the pressure. And if that's you today, I encourage you to do what you can to, especially when we're dealing with adults, I would encourage you to do whatever you can in a good and positive way to tell those adults that you are, in fact, an adult and you can take care of yourself. You may not think that you can, but you can. And I am done being your dumping ground. I am done being your emotional dump. I am done being that, giving you that service because it no longer is helpful to me. And in fact, it's detrimental to my emotional health and my spiritual health and my mental health right now. Therefore, I'm going to have to take a step back from that. If you're there, if you are there, I encourage you to do whatever good that is good and positive to separate yourself in that way. And you can do it because you're worth doing it. You're worth preserving your own mental health. You're worth preserving your own emotional health. You're worth preserving your own spiritual health. Again, especially when we're talking about adults. If you're an adult, you can take care of yourself. And if I was in that situation where I was taking on too much responsibility and too much burden that in fact was not my own, I would believe that I'm worth taking care of myself first. Put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help your seatmate. You are worth not having to deal with the world's problems because you're only one person. If you're in that situation, advise the person that you're saying, I can't take on all of this responsibility anymore. Advise them that you'll be their biggest cheerleader. You will rah, 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 and sis, boom, bah on the sidelines as they go about doing their good and positive work. You will be their biggest cheerleader. You will be their biggest fan. But what you can't be anymore is their biggest counselor. I wish you well in that endeavor because that takes cojones, that takes balls, that takes courage. And it takes loving yourself unconditionally. It takes loving yourself first. It takes loving yourself foremost. It takes loving yourself unconditionally to be able to accomplish that. So I encourage you to find that courage within you, and you can, to be able to take care of your mental, spiritual, and emotional health first. That is your affirmation for this week. Have a wonderful and blessed week, everybody. And I will see you right here next Monday morning. Bye.